welcome to another episode of One-on-One. I'm Martin Folse. When we come back from the break, we're going to take a ride to Lockport. Not really. Lockport is in the house, and we have the mayor of Lockport, Mr. Richard Champagne. I've never met him, believe it or not, so we haven't met each other. But today we meet each other for the first time on the set of One-on-One. We'll be right back.
Did you know that there are more than 180,000 amputations annually in the United States? The majority of those are preventable. If you have pain in your legs or other symptoms that suggest a problem, you'll be seen immediately at any of our locations. CIS is one of the largest, most advanced facilities in the South with an international reputation for treating peripheral vascular disease and preventing amputations. Call us before you amputate.
The Homestead, Homa's newest and most luxurious assisted living community.
I feel like it's all family. I know if I need help, there's always somebody there. If we had an emergency, they could take care of all of this. So that really impressed me. It makes me feel good. I feel like it's home.
For more information, visit thehomesteadweb.com or call us at 985-223-HOME. The Homestead on Cottage Drive. The lifestyle you deserve, the services you want.
Put together a crew of top specialists, and you can do amazing things. Cardiac care at TGMC. It all begins here.
What are we having for lunch?
The 10-piece combo, half regular, half boneless, original hot with fresh cut seasoned fries, homemade ranch, and a nice cold Coke. How about you?
New glider sandwiches.
The what?
New glider sandwiches. Perfectly delicious fillets of 100% white meat, sauced in my choice of 9 mouth-watering flavors, served on a freshly baked yeast roll.
I'll have what she's having.
The new glider sandwiches, only at Wingstop.
To sort of teach you why people do what they do.
Yeah.
What drives them to do it.
That's right, exactly.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And so I had some good times in those courses. Serious, however, but very good. Yeah.
So it leads to now let me ask you, when you ran for mayor, did somebody talk you into it, or did you just decide on your own you wanted to be mayor?
Well, I'll tell it to you exactly as it occurred in my own mind. When Bubba left, it was a kind of a hasty thing because I think he aspired to be the parish president from that mayor's job. And of course, he was soundly defeated, and I guess that was going to be the end of his political career, so he decided to get out from the principal's job. From the mayor's job. And so when that happened, my thoughts were, I'm either going to get out of here. I was a councilman at the time. I'm either going to get out of here and call it quits, or I'm going to run for mayor. Because I could not conceive of serving on the council with anyone who could possibly become mayor. Because in a small town, just about anybody could be elected. And so I said, I decided to run for mayor because then I would not be subjected to that kind of a situation.
You were putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I did. And so, but I had no opposition. So I walked in.
Wow.
I was well known in the town because
you saved a lot of money.
I said, yeah, and I didn't have to spend a penny. But having been the principal of a couple of schools in town and knowing a lot of the people, young people and adults as well, I think that's the reason.
You did a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a particular quality of mine or whatever, but what was in the minds of any potential candidate, I don't know. You know.
Well, but most people in Deer We like to say we didn't like our principals, but deep down inside, we all really did like our principals. You know,
especially in later years.
Later
after
years,
the
right?
fact. Yeah.
The tougher ones, the better.
Yeah, yeah. They knew that you did what you should have done correctly for them, and as adults, they came to realize that. So, you know.
So how has it been being the mayor all this time?
Well, I have actually enjoyed that job. I have a wonderful council. That I'm fortunate for. I've always had smart people there. We don't bicker and fight. We tend to business. That's another reason for us being kind of unknown. You remember early in our conversation you mentioned that things are pretty quiet in Lockport. Well, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
I think it is.
By design.
Yeah, because we well prepared for the meetings. And we have some very healthy discussions, and while I would like the meetings to end in no more than a minute beyond 1 hour, they usually last a couple of hours at least. Yeah. Not way late into the night, but we meet at 7. We were rarely out of there by 9. But during that time that we were in that meeting, there's give and take going on all the time. Right. And everybody has his chance to put in whatever, and that's one of the reasons for long meetings, because, you know, some people can condense their sentences into short ones and give the full meaning of what they want to put across. Others, they talk a lot.
That's every city, Mayor.
Yeah.
It's every parish.
Yeah. So I'm the one who probably talks the least, you know, because, like I said, I put things in a few words, and then I'm finished. You all got to decide, you know.
Yeah. So it's what you most proud of? What would you be most proud of about Lockport if you had someone come in and visit you, or the president came to Lockport? You had 1 minute to describe it, or say some king came into Lockport. How would you describe Lockport?
Lockport is a very quiet, little, respectable town. In fact, we have it on our welcome to Lockport sign, a quiet and something else town. Anyway, I would tell them that I always loved kids. I love dealing with people, one-on-one type things. Right. Or in groups, it doesn't matter, but if there's a real purpose for it, that's no problem. I don't like to deal in trivialities, and so, but I would be most proud of never having, during my principal years, never having had lawsuits filed against me. As mayor, never having had lawsuits filed against me. And that's a negative, of course, but in the mayor's job is in many ways very simple, very similar to the principal's job, because you're dealing with irate parents oftentimes. You're dealing with students that are running awry because of, you know, certain behavior patterns, and you know, of course, most of the people are very, very friendly and good and helpful. You only have a very small percentage who give any kind of problem, but those are quickly handled in a one-on-one situation.
And doesn't that say a lot about you that they would not even consider doing that? Isn't that the way you've sort of learned to carry yourself, even when you were faking being the principal?
That's right. They would not come because I was too stern looking or something. Man, I'm not going to go talk to that guy, you know. But I would always, I've had some very, very interesting conversations in my office, because when I would recognize, if it was a phone call, that a parent was really had an extended problem of some kind, I would almost insist, or try to insist, that they come to the mayor's office where we can sit down and talk. I can explain my point, they can explain their point, and we can come to terms. And invariably, I solve the problem, except for the fact that some people, I mean, I've had women in my office who come in and complain about their kid about other kids cussing in kindergarten class, which was not unusual. I mean, by the time, if the parents do it, the kids will do it.
They were like parrots.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And of course, parents don't realize that.
Right.
Parents don't realize that learning begins from the womb. They don't realize. Many of them are thinking that wait till you get to school, then you're going to learn this.
Right.
It's like learning starts in kindergarten or first grade, but it doesn't.
Right.
A lot of learning has taken place before that. Well, anyway, apart from, as one example, a woman who came in complaining about kids cussing, and I explained to her that, you know, this would happen, and if she took care of that at home, you know, I'm sure your child doesn't hear you use language like that, although I knew she did, because otherwise the kid wouldn't be doing it. When I finished my explanation, which was kind of lengthy, I suppose, probably too much for her, she got up and used the vilest tirade of cuss words that you could imagine on me.
She proved your point.
Yeah. I say, and then that's what I did. I said, you see, Mrs. So-and-so, this is exactly what I mean.
All right.
She got up and walked out.
Case
she
solved.
Learned. She learned, yeah.
Right.
She learned from that.
I'm a director here at the Little Theater in Houma. Sometimes I've acted, and I've even played in the orchestra. My name is Karen Schilling, and I was treated for breast cancer at Mary Bird Perkins at TGMC. Quality medical care and compassion should go hand in hand, and I definitely got that at Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. My doctors were incredible, and the technology is state-of-the-art. I believe that everyone at Mary Bird Perkins at TGMC deserves a standing ovation.
Did you know that there are more than 180,000 amputations annually in the United States? The majority of those are preventable. If you have pain in your legs or other symptoms that suggest a problem, you'll be seen immediately at any of our locations. CIS is one of the largest, most advanced facilities in the South with an international reputation for treating peripheral vascular disease and preventing amputations. Call us before you amputate.
Hi, I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. Every day we help businesses like this collect on bad checks.
Thanks, Joe, for helping us get our checks. Joe Waits gives us all our money.
Thanks, Joe, for getting our check.
I'd like to thank Joe Waits and his staff for doing a wonderful job collecting our NSF checks.
I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. If you're issued a bad check, we can help.
The Homestead, Homa's newest and most luxurious assisted living community.
I wanted companionship, and I made a lot of friends here. I knew a lot when I came here. Well, we have sort of a buddy system. We try to help each other. I just feel safe. Everything is secure. I had made up my mind I was coming.
For more information, visit thehomesteadweb.com or call us at 985-223-HOME. The Homestead on Cottage Drive. The lifestyle you deserve, the services you want.
Could you be a principal in today's, well, knowing that, and I'm not degrading the parents today, but times have changed.
That's right.
When we were growing up, parents weren't necessarily our friends.
Yeah.
Now
That's
they
right.
seem to want to be friends with the kids.
Yeah.
Could you do it today?
I would have very much trouble doing that today. I think I would. Although, on the other hand, you know, I might be able to manage it, but I doubt it.
Right.
I really do. Because what I see kids getting away with now, I never would have allowed.
What's the most proudest moment of being mayor? Now, what would you say you want everyone to remember what you did for Lockport? Is there any one thing?
Well, I think I provided sound leadership. Like I said earlier, we always managed to run a pretty smooth operation, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
We never got into there were mayors prior to my coming in there. It was a comic scene in there most of the time. I mean, it was embarrassing. I wasn't in there or a party to it.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the town meetings at the time, but I've heard some terrible stories of mayors just, I mean, saying the absolute wrong things to people, you know, and
Yeah.
it fires them up, you know. There's a certain thing you're going to say to somebody. You've had that experience. Same thing.
Yeah. So you brought dignity.
That's what I think. Dignity and order.
Okay.
To the town. Yeah.
They're all Robert's rules of order, so you follow them.
Right.
So
Exactly.
to speak.
Yeah.
With the few minutes we have left, just some little fun side of you now. What's your favorite song of all time?
My favorite song, probably Harbor Lights. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm not.
You're not old enough.
I'm not.
Those songs were popular in the late 40s.
Okay.
And Green Eyes is another one.
Okay.
Popular type music at the time.
Right, right.
Right now, I don't follow it too much.
Okay.
Because I'm not into the contemporary music. Although my son-in-law, Kirk Griffin, you know Kirk, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure did.
He's married to my daughter Ann.
Okay.
And he's into a lot of music.
Yeah.
He has a lot of records and things, and I listen to a lot of the music that he listens to, which is good music.
Yeah.
Contemporary music.
Right.
So I'm not. I don't cut it off completely. I like country music.
Yeah.
I like quality singing. You know,
right.
And playing.
You just want the quality.
Yeah. And I love classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Lately I've been sick, so I haven't done it. But in previous years, I got season tickets to the Louisiana Symphony Orchestra in New Orleans, and I would go on a regular basis.
Okay.
And I went to the opera once or twice.
Yeah.
I never went to the ballet yet, but anyway, I've been exposed to a lot of that type of music because that's the kind of music I like. It's thinking music.
Right. All right, let's switch over to movies. What's your favorite movie?
Movies, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was, it was a World War II job. Deborah Kerr played in there, and Frank Sinatra was in there.
Okay.
Burt Lancaster was in there.
All right.
And
it was a war movie.
It was a war movie. Well, it was a terrific movie.
Okay.
If I could remember all those names, I could point out a group. You know.
So who would be your favorite actor and actress of all?
Well, at the time, Deborah Kerr was one. Can't think of their names too.
Were you a John Wayne guy?
I was a kind of a John Wayne guy, but I think John Wayne went a little bit too far with his bullying sometimes. I thought he could have backed off a little bit, but I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the famous guys, you know, Cary Grant, and
right. All those like Roy Rogers or Gene Autry.
Well, now you telling my age when you talk about Gene Autry. Somebody mentioned that yesterday in a conversation, and everybody laughed.
You told me when you graduated.
Hell, yeah, I like him. I like Gene Autry.
I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, and I like Roy Rogers as well. But I didn't go all out for those guys too much. But
okay.
In that time, they were very good, I thought.
Together a crew of top specialists, and you can do amazing things. Cardiac care at TGMC. It all begins here.
What are we having for lunch?
The 10-piece combo, half regular, half boneless, original hot with fresh cut seasoned fries, homemade ranch, and a nice cold Coke. How about you?
New glider sandwiches.
The what?
New glider sandwiches. Perfectly delicious fillets of 100% white meat, sauced in my choice of 9 mouth-watering flavors, served on a freshly baked yeast roll.
I'll have what she's having.
The new glider sandwiches, only at Wingstop.
The Homestead, Homa's newest and most luxurious assisted living community.
The people are so friendly. Everybody's friendly. And you feel like if you needed something, they'd all be happy to help you. They'll feel like it's home. We're all in one big family.
For more information, visit thehomesteadweb.com or call us at 985-223-HOME. The Homestead on Cottage Drive. The lifestyle you deserve, the services you want.
Hi, I'm District Attorney Joe Waits Jr. We're blessed to live in an area abundant in natural resources. The laws are clear when it comes to shrimping in Terrebonne Parish. It is unfair for those who obey the law to be put at a disadvantage by those who don't obey the law. Be fair to your fellow shrimpers. Obey the law.
Let's go back to politics. This always tells me a lot about a person.
Yeah.
Your favorite president of all time?
Probably Ronald Reagan.
We have that in common.
Yeah.
That's my favorite president of all time, too.
Yeah.
Why was he yours?
Well, he did all the right things. He was a good conservative. He was laughed at when he first got in and ridiculed by the liberal media. They continue to do that on an unrelenting basis, as you well know.
Sure.
And, but he did the right things. He was patriotic.
He made you feel good to be an American.
He did. He very well did. And he got rid of the Berlin Wall. He did a lot of things during his tenure. So yeah, he's my favorite person.
Yeah. When, of course, you're still going strong. You seem to still have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But if I got some of your former students, if I got Parish President Michelle Claudet and Parish President Charlotte Randolph, and I went down the line and Judge Bruce Simpson, and I got some of your family and everybody, siblings, all in a room. And I said, all right, I want y'all to give me one word that describes the mayor. One word. What would you hope the one word would be that they would use?
Sincere. I would hope. At least that's one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. I would call it a virtue.
You've always had your heart in everything you've done. Huh?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have left, and I'm doing a lot of talking.
You say your piece, because you get the last say on this show. Go ahead.
I was interviewed by the bishop about a year ago, and he said he was going to ask me some questions, and like we're doing now.
Right.
Well, he asked one question, and I talked for about 15 minutes. And when the interview was over, he was only able to get one other question in it, and it was all done. Well, I felt bad about that because I talked too much. But anyway, I forgot the question now. What was it?
The one word, but I said you're always into, you said you were sincere, and I said you really get into everything you do.
Get into things, yeah. I get excited a little bit about some of the things. By the way, you said something about my siblings. Well, there quite a few of them have left this world, and in fact, in recent years, as a matter of fact. I have a brother, Rene, was a passionist missionary, and he spent his last years in Louisville. And my brother Pat and I are the only two males left in the family. We're the two youngest.
Right.
And I have three sisters left, so there's only 5 of us. So we took care of Rene as best we could, because he became somewhat senile toward his ending years. He died at 89 last October, and he was buried in the Passionist grounds next to the monastery there in Louisville. And Pat and I, the only two who could travel And we went, of course, we went to his funeral and took care of business, whatever business we had to take care of. And so of course, we all respected him a lot. Rene spent 26 years in Rome. That was his biggest assignment. He was a secretary to the Father General in the Passionist order. I don't know how familiar you are with the Passionists, but they're not that well, they're not as well known, for example, as the Jesuits or the Capuchins or the other orders of priests and people who go out on missionary work. That's what they did mostly. And now, well, at the time Rene died, he was living at the monastery in Louisville. There were about 10 of them in there, but they were all pretty well, as far as their health was concerned, they were all in very bad shape, you know. But they were a happy bunch, you know. I made friends with a lot of them, and so did my brother Pat.
So spirituality is a big part of your life too.
It absolutely is.
Yes. Yeah. Can't do it without it.
That's right. Without the Lord, nothing is possible.
We're going to close on that note, Mayor. I enjoyed meeting you and enjoyed talking with you, and we got to keep in touch. It's been too long, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
So let me know when something goes on in Lockport. We'll bring the cameras over there.
Now that we know each other, we can.
We have a lot of friends in common.
Yeah, we can get on the phone and talk to each other.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate it very much.